Hey everybody! Over the last week, I've managed to play 3 sessions in my first solo campaign. I've used Shadowdark's solo rules and have been having a blast. I've surprised myself multiple times with crazy rolls, twists that I didn't expect, and a deeper love for solo play altogether. And I haven't even entered a dungeon yet. After playing these past few times, I'd like to share with you some of the cool things I'm discovering from my experience. We'll call them the hidden gems of solo play. These are things I've seen emerging and am excited to explore more as I get further into play. This isn't everything by any means. There's so much more that I can't just cover in one video. So let's get into the first gem, character development timeline. Something that has presented itself very quickly is a slower and more methodical character arc. Your characters are going on long journeys, and being in the head of more than one character makes you have to ask those questions that you would otherwise know if you were only playing one. The 3 characters I have started my solo campaign with all feel differently about each situation that presents itself. I found it fun to be faced with a roll on a random table and think, how does Eliara feel about X? Or how would Yarki react to Ulfric's actions? And you can ask those questions at any time. You're free to explore as much or as little of that character as you want, and you can spread it out over days at a time in-game, which I have found a lot of fun. Maybe you don't love the character exploration, and that's fine. It's just you playing. Or maybe you love knowing as much about your character as possible. That's fine as well. It's your game, so play it that way. The second gem is learning new systems. I typically learn by listening or watching others do something first. I learned D&D by listening to Adventure Zone and Not Another D&D podcast episodes. It helped me understand so much more about the game and different situations and mechanics. That didn't replace the need for real-time learning. When I ran my first dozen sessions, I was still asking questions and looking up rules like crazy. Something I'm learning already is that playing a game myself has allowed me to not panic when I don't know the rules for something. I can pause and look it up without holding others up, or just look it up later if I don't want to interrupt the flow of the game. By the time I play Shadowdark again with other people, I will be much more familiarized with the system myself and can guide them more easily. The third hidden gem is actually using the things that I've purchased. There's a trap in the TTRPG hobby. There are so many cool products. Too many to play, but we buy them anyway. Or we want to, at least. With solo play, you can actually utilize those things you spent your money on, or spend that extra cash you might have on a game that you actually want to play. A friend of mine purchased multiple Traveler books and really loves science fiction. He created some amazing worlds and we played a couple sessions, but I know that only barely scratched the itch for him. So, recently, I suggested that he play that in a solo campaign. At the end of the day, why miss out on those amazing stories just because we don't have other people to play with us in the moment? Hidden gem number 4 is one that you might expect. Improv. You get so much work in thinking on your toes. Understanding a roll on a random table or what a band of skeletons roaming through the marsh in your hex crawl could mean gets the wheels turning in your head and allows you to start making split-second decisions that help shape the world and characters of your story. Thinking on your toes can lead to a lot of surprising situations, and you'll just end up building the world out further through that improv that you're learning to do more and more. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. Hidden gem number 5 is that you don't get attached to ideas. Now, don't get me wrong, you're still probably attached to ideas, but it's easier to let some go. As a DM, it's easy for me to tunnel vision on my ideas and the narrative I have in my head. This is starting to stretch my muscles to think outside of the box and allow the dice to start telling the story. I can see this being an exercise that could really help any DM out. Hidden gem number 6 is that this is uniquely your own. What you create and run is entirely up to you. You can try out that wacky thing you want, or be as serious as you want. You only have yourself to impress. This is probably a great way to prove something to yourself if you are doubting yourself and what you're capable of. You really are capable of doing this, so do it. The last hidden gem is journaling. I actually looked up multiple videos on this and found out that there's no right or wrong way to do this. For me, writing has been one of the most fun parts of the experience. I note bullet points from what I think is interesting and jot down the questions I ask the oracle. I put dates and times and just leave that for myself to show the progress that my characters are making. It's a fun exercise for me, and it gives me that tactile interaction that I long for. But you can do it however you want. Now I have some bonus thoughts for you. These are some things that have just naturally popped up as I've been writing down these gems. The first is that all first-time DMs could benefit from running a few solo sessions for themselves. Maybe you're a player and you want to try being a DM. Well, you can practice this way. Or maybe you want to run but you're scared to. Again, get some practice in. Speak it out loud. Bonus thought number 2 is that solo play can be some of the best world building that exists. You let the world expand naturally as you explore it. It makes it feel lived in, but unexpected at the same time. Bonus thought number 3, time alone is meditative. I have found that each session that I play, time just seems to pass by without me realizing it. I'm so immersed in the world and in my own head that I have time to just relax and chill out a bit. Number 4, the dice are our collaborators. In parentheses, I have written, they always have been. It's easy to feel like the dice are working against you when they're actually helping you tell the story. It may not be the story that you thought was going to unfold, but those twists and turns are what makes it fun and unique and different. Bonus thought number 5, and the last one, it's a great way to stop the doom scrolling. I mentioned this in my last video, but doom scrolling is just something that I find myself doing. I'm either doing it on Instagram or YouTube or really whatever else. I'm trying to fill my brain with something. But when I'm playing, I set my phone to the side and I reach for it a lot usually. But when I'm playing, it's just kind of sitting there and I forget it exists. There are a million other things I'm loving about the experience I'm having with solo role-playing. I'm sure I'll share more as time goes on, but these few have stuck out within these first few sessions. I want to thank you all for watching this and checking out my previous video if you did. It really does mean a lot. I'm considering documenting some of my future sessions, so feel free to let me know if there's any interest in that. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover as well. Thanks for watching to this point if you have. And if you did, you receive a sparkling sapphire the size of a baseball worth 300 gold pieces and gain 3 XP. Now, get out there and do that thing that you've been putting off.